Bum, bum, bum. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. I was just like humming a song before we started, and I'm trying to think of what movie it's from. I don't think it's a Disney movie. Bum, 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 I don't know what it is. I was thinking like Princess Bride, but I don't think it's Princess Bride. I don't know. There's no one around, so I can keep on humming to myself and trying to figure it out. This is going to be the show tonight. It's me 1 hour of me humming and trying to even I can't even get the song out of my head. I can't like hum it the right way. Bum, bum. Oh, what is the song? It's driving me crazy. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. I don't know if anyone's out there for the Wednesday show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Wednesday Show, where I sit here humming songs to myself, trying to figure out what song it is and where it's from. That's not the actual episode. If you're joining us right now for the very first time, that's not the episode tonight. I'm just trying to figure out a song that's stuck in my head right now, and I can't figure out what the song is for the life of me. There's no lyrics. It's just all musical instruments. And as my singing career never took off, I'm probably not the right person to be singing the song either. Right? I can sing it, but I can't get it out in the right key or the right tune or the right anything. You know how there's like that thing on your phone where like you can like hum a song and it'll be like, oh, like this is the song that you're thinking of. Usually that's completely like it's like there's a 5% match. Like your singing is awful and you cannot figure this out. So anyways, hello everybody. Is anybody out there? I don't know if anyone's out there yet. I'm still just talking to myself. Hence that's the Wednesday show every week, is me talking to myself, and people just tune in to watch the madness, watch the insanity, and be like, who on earth is this guy? And why is he here? You got the Lego Huey right here. I never realized that he comes with I probably realized it years ago, the Junior Woodchuck's Guide book, and you can actually see inside of it too. So tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through and answering your Disney questions about anything and everything Disney. Hello, Frank fam. Did you have fun with the family? Yes. Oh, my parents are still here. My parents come down every February for about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the year. So my parents are still going to be down here for a few more weeks. But I had my brother, my sister-in-law, and then my niece and nephew in town, and it was unbelievable. Oh, I had so much fun with those kids. I missed them already a ton, to the point where like I've just been quoting the kids their ridiculous phrases because I just think it's funny. They're funny kids. So unlike their uncle, who's hilarious. But no, yes, thank you so much for asking. I had a great time with them. I am sad that they had to go back, but at the same time, I did have a great time with them while they were here. We hit a total, me and the 8-year-olds hit the most rides. We hit a total of 41 attractions. And then my brother got second place. He got 39 attractions. We went to the parks for 3 days, so we're doing pretty well. He did 39, and then I think my nephew, who's 5, hit 37, I want to say it was. I could be wrong. He was not feeling well the one day, so he skipped a few rides at the end of the night, 4 rides at the end of the night. So, yeah, overall, great time. And he also missed the first ride, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Hey, howdy, hey, welcome to the practice round. All right, so if you guys are joining us, we are doing an Ask the Expert segment tonight. So start throwing your questions in the comments below while I get this thing started. We're going to start the 705th, that's a big number, episode of the Wednesday Show in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 705th episode of the Wednesday Show. Today is February 22nd, 2023, and I'm your host, as always, Brent Dodge. There's a lot of twos there. 2222023. Mostly twos. When's the extra game? Now you sound like my parents. Tonight we're going to be doing an Ask the Expert segment where you guys can ask any and all Disney questions to me as we go through here. But of course, before we get to that, let's talk about our news for the week. First off, I apologize. This past week, we were going to go on Tron Life Cycle Run, but unfortunately, because of some incidents that I don't really want to get into with the person who's going to bring me, unfortunately, they could not make it anymore. So that allowed me not to make it either, which is fine as long as everything in the person's life is good. That's all that really matters. So I'm fine missing Tron as long as everything else is okay with the person. So we will be coming back with a live broadcast coming up this Saturday at 1 o'clock East. Maybe not. We will come to you live at some point on Saturday. I just don't know when yet. This coming up weekend is going to be the Princess half marathon weekend. I am doing all 3 races, the 5K, 10K, and the half marathon. So, yeah, I will be doing a broadcast at some point at Saturday. I just don't know when. I don't know where, but we will be. No details yet. So stick around. Hopefully, I will have more details in the very near future for you guys. And also, as always, tonight's episode is sponsored by, I almost started it. It's all about the mouse travel jazz. Make sure you stop by. It's allaboutthemouse.travel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All their services are absolutely positively 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. Okay, so tonight we're going to be answering your Disney questions. While you guys go through and start throwing your questions into the comments below, as always, I have written to my Patreon pals and said, help me. I need some questions to get us started. So we're going to start with their questions, and then we're going to bump into you guys. I actually only got one of them who actually responded, and I gave them more time than usual today. So I just don't think as many people saw it as usual. Although one of them's in the chat room right now, I see. And they didn't write a question, but that's okay. Okay. Are the Run Disney processes and procedures back to pre-pandemic normal? Almost. They are almost completely back to pre-pandemic normal. So if you've ever done a Run Disney race before COVID and after COVID, there is a lot of similarities. There's a little bit of differences, but the biggest difference right now is that you don't have to do the paper waiver anymore. You can actually do a waiver online. And then when you get to the spot, they'll be like, oh, let me make sure that you sign that waiver. Yes, you have. And then I feel like it goes a lot quicker. There is a problem with that, though. The only problem is for this, I have 2 email addresses that I use on a regular basis. And one of them is my Disney account. One of them is not my Disney account. And I entered the non-Disney account for the challenge. So I have to sign the paper waiver for that one because I did not do it under my account. I did it under a completely different email address. So yeah, the procedures are pretty much the same. Also, if you ever did a race beforehand, I have a feeling this is going to be changing sometime in the near future. But if you did a race before the pandemic, then you probably remember that if you did a challenge, they would take your picture. Don't know how to show you guys how taking a picture is, but that's how you take a picture. They used to take your picture beforehand. So then after you completed the races, they made sure it was you who ran and not someone else. They would actually check your face and be like, oh yeah, this is the guy who ran. Or girl, or anyone. This is the human being that ran this race, and we're gonna do some fact checking. And sure enough, you are the person who completed this challenge. And then they would give you your challenge medal. And if you were not the person, then they would say, "Get out," and they would kick you out of the area. I don't know if that ever happens. I've never seen anyone get kicked out of that area. But now it's on the honor system. They believe that everyone has finished both races, so they just give you the medals, or 3 races or 4 races, depending on which challenge you're actually doing. Actually, now that I think about it, there are 2, 3, and 4 for the challenges. 2 during the Wine and Dine half marathon weekend and the Princess half marathon weekend. Both of those are a 10K and half marathon challenge. Also during the marathon weekend, there is the Goofy challenge, which is the half marathon and the full marathon. 3 during the springtime surprise weekend, which is the 5K, 10K, and 10 miler. And then during the marathon weekend, there's also 4 races, which is the 5K, 10K, half, and full, which is the Dopey challenge. Okay, so that is our first question there. Let me just double check to make sure that there were no other questions from our Patreon pals to get us started here. No, that was it. That was it today. Okay, so we're going to go to you guys in the comments below. Start throwing as many questions into the comments as possible. The more questions you ask, the longer our show is going to be going on, or might be more interesting. So throw your questions out there. Got our Tron preview. Yeah. Do you think we should watch the movie beforehand? So I don't think you have to. One of the people who I was with did not had never seen Tron before, and they still enjoyed the attraction. I feel like it enhances it a little bit. But more importantly, if you're going to watch one of them, I recommend Tron Legacy, the second one, the one that came out back in 2012, 2010, somewhere around there, 2010, I want to say. I think that one enhances it more than the original Tron does. So the original one, it enhances it, but the second one, I kind of feel like it connects more to it, and I think mainly because it was the newer film. So I think the Imagineers kind of touched more on those details than on the details from the other one. Plus, there is, without giving anything away, there is a connection between the two, but it's like a very small, minuscule connection that unless you watched the movie recently, you would notice. I noticed it because I watched Tron Legacy the night before I did my preview. But I don't think you have to watch Tron to truly enjoy Tron. It's like Avatar. I feel like you don't really have to watch Avatar to enjoy Flight of Passage. I think the Imagineers do a good job of that kind of stuff. Or Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance is one of the coolest attractions, and you don't really have to be a Star Wars fan to really be immersed into that story. Okay, let's go to the next questions. As always, like we said, if you guys have any Disney-related questions, throw your questions into the comments below. We're going to answer any and all questions as we go through here tonight. So, make it count. All right, let's do our next question here. Next question is from Shelly. Does the 5K on Castaway Cay count as your Run Disney count / mileage? I personally do count it, mainly because you get a medal at the end of it. Do I have one of the Castaway Cay medals near me? I do. I actually got my two most recent ones on there. Neither one of them have gone up on my wall. This is the one from 2021, September 2021. This is the one from last month, January of 2022. So because you do get the medals, I do count them as part of my mileage and part of the races that I've done. If you look at all my medals together, I do include all of those ones as well. Also, if you do the Dopey Challenge in January, or actually you don't even do the Dopey Challenge, if you do the marathon in January, after the marathon, you can actually go out to Castaway Cay and you can get a special medal for that race only. So the way that one works is there is a cruise that ships out or sails out on the day after the marathon. So the marathon's always on a Sunday. So the very following day, if you're on that cruise on Monday and then you sign up for the Castaway Cay Challenge on Castaway Cay, there are literally like hundreds of people who are doing the Castaway Cay 5K. And they've got characters out there, and it's a big hoopla. It's not like how the race is every single other day, but definitely worth checking out. I want to do that at some point. The only problem is that cruise is so expensive because so many people want to do it. And unless I get like extremely rich someday, it's not going to be happening anytime soon. So yes, if you want my PayPal information, we will see it. Did you get a Tron preview for the annual pass holders? I did. My friend signed me up. I'm glad that they signed me up because my dad and I were going to sign up. I didn't get an email. My dad got an email, but we were at the park and it was with my niece and nephew. So like we were, putting all of our attention towards my niece and nephew. And because you can sign up other people that are also annual pass holders that you're linked to on the My Disney Experience, my friends were able to get me in. They sent me the thing saying, hey, guess what? We're in. I was like, oh, I want to get my dad in too. So I tried to get my dad in, but then it was sold out by the time he got there. So I think if all else fails, maybe my dad will be taking my spot because I've already done it 8 times and he has not done it once. So I kind of think we might be able to, hopefully explain what was going on and have it so instead of the 3 of us, it's the 4 of us. So we'll see. My mom would have no interest in that attraction whatsoever. So yeah. I missed the memo and never got notified on the Patreon page. Blast it all. Keep on throwing your questions into the thing. Hello, love pugs. Keep throwing your questions into the comments below. We will rock you. Boom, boom, boom. So throw any more questions into the comments below. Right now we have no questions, so throw your questions in so we can have questions. Okay, a question just popped up. Off topic, is the virtual Walt or at Disneyland and Walt Disney World or only... the virtual wait or the virtual Walt? Wait, Is there a smudge on the screen? I'm confused. The virtual races? Is that what you're saying? I'm very confused right now. Off topic, is the virtual Walt at Disneyland and the Walt Disney World or only Disneyland? I'm guessing you're talking about the virtual race, but the virtual races, you can do them for all the races, both in Walt Disney World and Disneyland right now. Holographic Walt Disney. Right now, nowhere, but we shall see in the future if we're going to have one at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Okay, let's go to the next question here. And I saw that today. No more virtual queue for Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway over at Disneyland. Apparently, it was not filling up as much as they thought that it was going to fill up. So you don't have to sign up for the virtual queue anymore over there, which I'm kind of bummed about because I personally love virtual queues. I don't understand why people hate virtual queues so much, because I would rather have it so I have to wait 20 to 30 minutes in a line after I get called back than wait 4 to 5 hours in a line and not get called. I never understood that, why people like that so much. It kind of, I don't know. It kind of blows my mind because I personally love virtual queues. What's the theme for the marathon? So this marathon is going to be the Princess Half Marathon weekend. So it's all princess themed. I want to say, let me look it up right now because I'm drawing the biggest blank right now on what the medals are. I want to say Jasmine's one of them. Belle's one of them. Rapunzel? Maybe. Come on, go to the actual Run Disney page. I don't want these other ones here. It's giving me like all these different influencers. There we go. Oh, Moana. Make way, make way. So the art style is like a different art style. And at first I did not, wait, what's going on here? At first I didn't really like the art style and it's kind of grown on me. I think it doesn't work that well for Belle, but I think it really works well for Moana. I think Moana looks really cool there. And the Cinderella one kind of reminds me of Mary Blair original Cinderella artwork. But this one's the Fairy Tale Challenge with Cinderella. I want to say the Moana's the half, right? Yeah, Moana's the half, and then Belle is the 10K, and I'm drawing a blank exactly on who is the 5K. Maybe it is Jasmine, and maybe I really couldn't remember exactly who it was, but I'm pretty sure it's Jasmine. So today I went over to Epcot, and while I was going over to Epcot, if you go around Disney property, like before the races actually start, you can find little white signs in the ground. They're like yay big, like they're really small. But if you kind of go slow past them, you can kind of read what's on them. So today I was driving by, and I did see that Rey from Star Wars is one of the meet and greet characters during the half marathon, pretty near the starting line. Belle, no. It was Jasmine was shortly after her, and then another one that had like tons of writing on it. So I'm not sure what that was, but I am tempted to just kind of have it. So tomorrow, maybe just drive around property very slowly and go on the route of the half marathon. So I know who I should stop for and who I should just kind of bypass. Last year, during the marathon weekend, I got very lucky and someone gave me an entire list of every character that was on the course. And that helped out greatly because we wanted to meet every character and we were able to figure out who we can pick and choose and everything else. All right, keep on throwing your questions out there into the comments below. We will keep on going through and answering any and all questions as we go through here. What do you think of the new Woody restaurant opening? I'm extremely excited about it, but I have not been able to get any reservations for it yet. But at the same time, I think reservations go on sale tomorrow for it because it's 30 days out, and tomorrow's 30 days out. Or no, tomorrow. No. 30 days out was yesterday. No. I tried to get reservations for my birthday because my birthday is literally the day after the restaurant opens up. So I would like to eat there on my birthday. I think that'd be a cool thing to kind of, do on my birthday. So it's my first time ever at the restaurant. But I'm extremely excited for it. I think it looks like a really cool restaurant. I know a lot of people who aren't big fans of Toy Story Land. I'm a huge fan of Toy Story Land. The only thing I don't like about it is there is no shade whatsoever in that land. But besides the lack of shade, I think the land itself is a really cool, really impressive land. And yeah, I'm excited for this restaurant as well because I think it's going to be pretty cool. We spent a lot of time at Toy Story Land on Sunday with my niece and nephew, and they love Slinky Dog. They love Toy Story Mania. Aliens Rolling Saucer, they were not a massive fan of, but they enjoyed it. So yeah, I've always liked Toy Story Land, and I'm excited for a new restaurant too. I take it back. I like most things in there. I'm not a big fan of Woody's Lunchbox. I don't think it's the greatest restaurant, the quick service restaurant. I don't think the options are as friendly as they could be. It's like grilled cheese and stuff, and I don't know, grilled cheese is okay, but it's like too plain. Like, give me a burger. We go through this every time we talk about food. Where people are like, I love the food choices, the burger, or the grilled cheese gives off a great sense of whiffiness, and the texture makes you feel like you're running through a cheese-filled field. And I'm like, okay, it's grilled cheese. Yeah, and so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what it is. I'm excited for the restaurant though, because it's a barbecue restaurant. I like barbecue food. I think Regal Eagle is one of the best restaurants on property. I think Polite Pig is up there as well. I like barbecue food, so I'm excited for Woody's. How's the construction going? So construction over at Epcot is doing extremely well. It is moving along every single day. It's not like Tron. I feel like things are going to be done a lot sooner than Tron was. So I am hoping that we will be seeing more and more things open up in the very near future here. Especially, I'm really excited for Moana. I think Moana looks really cool. So on TikTok, created a video, an aerial view of the Princess 5K as if you're riding Soarin' with Soarin' music, and the top of the video was the feet from the people in the first row. That's pretty cool. That's actually very cool. That's a very cool video. No reservations came out today. Okay, well, I missed the reservations. I was not really paying attention to it at all. I'm not a big food person though, so like if I don't eat there on the first day, it's not the end of the world for me. The only restaurant that I can think of on property that I ate at on the very first day was Via Napoli. And that was mainly due to the fact that I met someone who brought me to a talk, and they brought me to a talk with the then president of Epcot. And then I talked to that guy for a while. And after talking to him for a while, he said, oh, if you want to, we've got like Via Napoli's open up later on today, or maybe it was the next day or whatever. And he's like, I can have it so like we add you to the reservation list and blah blah blah. Like you still have to pay for the food, but like you'll be the first. And I was like, yeah. And I ate there, and I was all by myself, and people judged me like no other because I was sitting there by myself. But it was an amazing time. I had a great time over there. I love Via Napoli, and I think part of it does stem back to the fact that I was there on opening day. But that is the only time where I've ever been there or been at a restaurant on opening day. You have the 24th for lunch. That's my birthday. When does Happily Ever After come back? Well, again, I have to stress this every time. It's not Happily Ever After. It's a rendition of Happily Ever After. A lot of people I've talked to believe that it is the actual show, like the complete, like it's Happily Ever After. It will be parts of Happily Ever After, but it will not be Happily Ever After, if that makes sense at all. Hopefully it does, because I've had to explain this to a lot of people, and I don't think a lot of people remember that. Or a lot of people I've talked to is like, oh, Happily Ever After coming back. Kind of, but not completely. So it comes back April, at the start of April. I'm really bummed because I do not like Happily Ever After at all. I think it is the worst. Did I say worst? Yeah, I think it's the worst Disney fireworks show. I never cared for it. Part of it, yes, I know, is because I loved Wishes so much, and I was really upset by Wishes. But it's not even a fireworks show. It's like a projection show with some fireworks added to it. If you look at how many fireworks were in Happily Ever After compared to Wishes or Enchantment, it's like half of what the other two had. Like, there's not a lot of fireworks. It always drove me crazy because it's not a fireworks show. It's a projection show with firework enhancements. And I remember one time I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to watch Happily Ever After from Fantasyland and get pictures of just the fireworks with not Sleeping Beauty Castle, with the Beast Castle in the background. And I was so excited about it. And then I was like, oh, there's no fireworks. Like, you go through like 3-4 minute patches and there's no fireworks. I'm like, oh my gosh, I despise this show. And I'm really bummed. Because I think Enchantment has a solid storyline from start to finish. Happily Ever After, it doesn't have a storyline, and it doesn't have a storyline. And Disney's all about story, and there's not a solid storyline. It's just like, Oh, soundbite, 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 soundbite. It makes me so mad every time. Thoughts on Toy Story 5. I was kind of thinking that at some point we're going to have Toy Story 5. I wasn't positive how they're going to do it, but I figured I didn't think there was going to be a Toy Story 4, and they figured out how to do it. And I think Toy Story 4 was a very good film. I don't think it was as good as Toy Story 3. I think they could have ended Toy Story 3 or the Toy Story stories at Toy Story 3 because I feel like Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending. When they're going towards that incinerator, like just rivers. It was one of the saddest endings of any film. And then when Andy is there saying goodbye to all the toys and giving them to Bonnie, it's like, okay, like this is how they're wrapping everything up. It makes sense. And then when they announced Toy Story 4, I was like, no, it was such a good ending. But then I did fall in love with Forky. And I thought the storyline was great too, because we didn't know what happened to Bo Peep. So it was great to kind of get Bo Peep back. And now we had Bo Peep and Woody saying goodbye to Buzz and the gang. And I'm like, okay, that's the end. So long, partner. Remember? That's how the end. And now they're like, oh, Toy Story 5. So I'm like, I don't know if they should make a Toy Story 5, but at the same time, I'm thinking, I didn't think they should have made a Toy Story 4, and I did enjoy Toy Story 4. So my thoughts on Toy Story 5, I'm not like over the top excited for it, but I'm going to give it a chance, and I am really hoping that I am pleasantly surprised. And I feel like I will be pleasantly surprised for it. So we will see. We will see what happens in the very near future. I got a reservation for a Roundup barbecue stoked. Oh, man. Just give Brendan Uncrustable. He's happy. Exactly. Give me Uncrustable. Give me pizza. Give me chicken. Give me whatever. Yep, Brendan and his mother are both happy. Exactly. They need to keep the Toy Story Land relevant. Well, remember, the storyline for the restaurant is that you are still a toy going into a restaurant that is being put on by the toy. So it's like Andy set up the restaurant. So when you're in there, everything kind of looks like it's cardboard because you're inside of a box. So I do feel like that they are keeping Toy Story Land relevant. The concept art looks really good. I had one of my friends has been working on the project. He revealed a picture the other day, and then he took it down right away because he was not supposed to reveal a picture. And the picture reminded me of the inside area of Toy Story Midway Mania when you're in the queue, where you feel like you're just kind of in, something that Andy would have put together and just kind of thrown out there. So I feel like it is still relevant. And yeah, I'm excited to see exactly what it looks like. I'm excited to kind of have an idea of all the other stuff. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. What do you think of the Disney 100 merch? So far, I absolutely love it. I have only purchased one thing so far, which is really good for me because usually I'm broke by this point, but I'm broke already. So it helps that I'm broke already because I couldn't buy more merchandise. Right now, I'm looking at it. It's on the other side of the room. I bought the pack of 3 notebook binders because I'm a writer. So I do a lot of writing in notebooks, whether I'm here or whether I'm at the park. And I'm just kind of like gazing at it. So there's a pack of 3, and they're all like vintage Disneyland television series type of notebooks. And it comes as a pack of 3. So I bought that because I was like, oh, this is really cool. Anytime there's a new notebook out, I have to buy it. Here, you know what? We're going to get it. And I'm going to show you some of the other ones because I don't think people understand how many notebooks I need in my life. Because we got so many. Oh my gosh. This is just like not even half. This is just all I could walk over with. So these are the Disneyland ones here. Wait a minute. All right. Walt Disney's Disneyland. And Walt Disney's Disneyland. On the back, got like Walt and like tickets. Then we've got Disneyland. So all those are really cool. This is a notebook, which is set up like a ticket book or a ticket for a movie theater for the El Capitan Theater, which is the name of the theater for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway over in Disneyland. I got this from a friend who went to the D23 Expo. and they gave this out during the parks presentation. They're like, "Oh, you like notebooks? Haha, I do like notebooks." Then I got like the ones like this, where it looks like a VHS cover, but it's actually a notebook. VHS cover, notebook, VHS cover, notebook, VHS cover, notebook, VHS cover, notebook. A lot of those. So yeah, I'm a sucker for anytime I can get a really cool notebook. Chances are high that I will be buying that notebook. So yeah, we'll see. No, I mean they needed to make Toy Story 5 to keep the series relevant. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm excited for Toy Story 5. I just want to. I'm also very hesitant about Toy Story 5. I think it's gonna be good though. Show of hands in the throw a hand up emoji if you are excited for Toy Story 5, and throw a puking emoji if you're not excited for Toy Story 5 into the comments below. Just because I'm curious, and I think those are, a funnier way to do it. You have the Disney 100 Magic Band. I don't have the Magic Band. Yeah, this is the only things I have so far are these notebooks, which I absolutely love. The biggest problem with notebooks, though, that I have is because I love them so much that I never want to write in them until eventually I'm like, oh, like I need to use a notebook to write this in, and then I'll be like, haha, I'll write it in. I also have one of my notebooks is just different like drawings for like if you've ever watched I'm pointing at my TV. You guys can't even see the TV. If you've ever watched the animation series on Disney Plus, I've watched that like 3 or 4 times. So I've got like a lot of the same characters drawn over and over and over again. Because every time I watch the series, I'm like, oh, I better draw the character again. So I've got like a bunch of Olafs and Simba was in there. I can't think of the other characters. But yeah, I really wanted the purple 100th Disneyland hoodie, but it sold out super fast. Hopefully, we can find more of it at the parks. I do feel like a lot of the different 100 merchandise that sold out right away will be back in the near future. One of the ones that I really liked and I had in my hand and it's driving me crazy because I had in my hand was the what's it called? The blanket. I'm trying to think of like the actual term of the blanket, like kind of the blanket. Because I have a lot of Disney blankets here, and I love those blankets so much. Not throw. What are they called? Someone write in the comments. But those blankets, I absolutely love those types of blankets, and I had it in my hand. I was like, oh, you know what? I just bought the 50th one not that long ago. I don't really need another one. And then I was like, oh, maybe I do. And then I went to the store and it's completely sold out. This is the other 100th merchandise that I did purchase. If you guys were on the show last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I did show this. But it was last week. This is the Thomas Kincaid Disney 100 painting. Look at all the different hidden characters in there, including Scrooge. In the back there, Morty Furty. So many characters. We got Horse, Cow, Clarabelle Cow, Goofy, Max, Pluto, Chip, Dale, Daisy, Donald, Mickey, Minnie, Huey, Dewey, Louie, Scrooge, Morty Furty, and Pete all in that one. Great lineup. Amazing lineup. This is just this week's Netflix exactly. Keep throwing your questions in the comments, and we will keep on going through. Wait, what are you going to give me for my birthday? We got excited for Toy Story 5. Not too excited. Not too excited. We got another excited there. They might need a new set of toys. Really didn't like the ending of 4. Not sure where they will go with Toy Story 5. I did love Forky, though. It was tough not to love Forky. I really liked the ending. Like, I feel like it gave Woody a good ending, but I'm not sure. Like, I think if they brought Woody and Buzz back together, I don't think it would be as good. Like, I think it would take away a lot of what we just went through. So I'm hoping it's just like either a Buzz and Jesse and those toys, Bonnie's story, or a Woody, Bo Peep, and the Duke Kaboom story. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see what happens with it. You also got the Disney 100 cup and the 100 t-shirt. Oh, Matt, you're made of money. Give me some of it. No. That's really cool, Matt. I want some of the stuff. Okay, let's go through the next one here. I'm curious to see where they'll take us on Toy Story 5. Is Bonnie a teenager now, giving the toys away, shoving them in the attic? I don't think we will have that yet. I feel like it's going to still be a little bit of ways before we have it. So she's getting that covered up. Because they kept Bonnie around for a while, including in the short cartoons. We've had Bonnie for quite some time, and because we've had Bonnie for quite some time now in the short cartoons, I feel like Bonnie won't have aged up too much. I feel like she might have aged up a little bit, but I can't imagine them being like, oh, we're going to give you guys Bonnie as a teenager now. The biggest difference between Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 and Toy Stories 3 and 4 is the fact that for Bonnie, they didn't age her up while Andy, they were aging up with the actual voice actor for the original film. So the voice actor for Andy in Toy Story 5 back in 1990, or Toy Story 1 in 1995, and Toy Story 2 4 years later, and then Toy Story 3 in 11 years after that. Same actor throughout the entire thing. Well, Bonnie, it's like, oh, like, let's just keep on, having it until Bonnie's 5 or 6 or whatever. If you could bring back one ride, I'm assuming ride, right? Not rice. Oh yeah, ride. If I could bring back one rice, I would bring back. I had this delicious rice over at Lotus Blossom Cafe one time. Amazing. I would bring that rice back. If I could bring one ride back. Oh, this is such a tough question. We were talking about this the other day because we were in line for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, one thing that you have to know about my brother compared to me is my brother and I are extremely close, but at the same time, our interests are very different. He's not a big Disney fan. He likes to come down to Disney about once a year, and the main reasons coming down once a year is because I live here and because of his kids. So if I did not live here, I guarantee those kids might have never gone to Disney again. But since my 8-year-old niece was born, this was their 4th time. So this was her 4th time at Disney. It was my nephew's 3rd time at Disney. So we're in line for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and I was talking about the ride, kind of, giving them prep about the ride. And he said, I don't understand why people were so upset about Great Movie Ride. It wasn't that good of a ride. And I was like, talking to him about it, I was like, you know what? The thing is with Great Movie Ride is I really enjoy Great Movie Ride, but part of the reason why I love Great Movie Ride was because it was a very nostalgic feeling. Like, it's been around since 1989. And I always loved the attraction. But at the same time, I totally understand why someone would be like, oh, yeah, it's not that great of a ride. Because when you go on it, especially when you go on at the end, a lot of those movies were like movies that most people had not even watched that were, of a younger generation. Things like Casablanca. I love Casablanca. I think Casablanca is a great film. But if you ask anyone who's under the age of 20 about Casablanca, chances are they have no idea what they're talking about. And considering it was the signature attraction. But with that being said, it might be a Great Movie Ride because I personally love Great Movie Ride. I also loved Journey into Imagination with Figment. I thought that was an amazing attraction. And of course, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I've always loved Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I always loved the character of Mr. Toad. I think the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, I still remember watching it for the very first time. And I remember that entire sequence where they're throwing the different paper airplanes, and one of them's the wheel and the rest of them aren't. I think it was just for me, it was the greatest scene I've ever seen in a movie. I loved it. I remember vividly being like, this is the greatest thing ever. But if I had to choose one, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was a great attraction too. I think I would choose Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Maybe not. Maybe the original Figment. I really like the original Figment. I think the original Figment was one of the greatest attractions that you could ever do. I like the Cranium Command too, though. Let me know in the comments. What would you choose? Part of me wants to say Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but at the same time, I can go to Disneyland and still do it, which makes me very appreciative of the fact that I can go to Disneyland and still do it today. And because of that, I will not have it. So that's my answer. So my answer will be the original Journey into Imagination with Figment. The original Journey into Imagination. Yay! I can't believe we just went through that therapy session together, but we got to the conclusion. Toy Story 4 was just a dream, and Woody wakes up in Toy Story 5. That would be awful if that's what it was. When does the Flower and Garden Festival officially start? It starts next week, actually a week from today. It'll be on the 1st, March 1st, and it goes through July 1st. So you got plenty of time to see it, but yeah, we will have, we'll be doing probably an episode next week, possibly, about it. If not next week, then the week after that. But a lot of the topiaries are up. I'm sure that the big topiary, the one that's going to be new for this year, will not be up until actually March 1st. But a lot of the ones, if you go through, you can see Peter Pan, Captain Hook, TikTok, Winnie the Pooh and friends are out there. Buzz and Bo Peep, or I'm sorry, not Buzz and Bo Peep. Woody and Bo Peep are out there, and several others. Miss Piggy, Kermit the Frog. So many different characters are already out that, yeah, I cannot wait. I love Festival of the Arts. Festival of the Arts is my favorite, but then Flower and Gardens number 2. So we'll see. How about the body one with Norm? You mean Buzzy? Cranium Command. I loved Cranium Command. Choose People Mover. Matt, that's a great choice for someone from Disneyland. People Mover is a great choice. What do you think they'll do with a castle decor after the 50th is over? Okay, I was talking to someone about this not that long ago, and the person did not believe me. That they did not believe that my idea was going to be the correct idea, but I'm fairly positive that it's going to be the correct idea. One, I think they're going to take the 50 and multiply it by 2, 50 times 2, or 50 and 50 up there. No, the 50 obviously will go down. I think everything else will stay the same because if you remember Disneyland Sleeping Beauty Castle, if you think about Disneyland Sleeping Beauty Castle today, you're probably thinking about the castle as the little pinkish, bluish tinge that we've seen for years and years and years and years and years. However, what a lot of people forget is that we did not really see that pinkish and blue tinge until 2005 when it was the 50th anniversary of Disneyland. Ever since then, the castle's just kind of stuck around and stayed that same color ever since. And I kind of feel like we're going to get the same thing here at Walt Disney World with the castle, where after the 50th is over, I feel like everything's going to stay pretty much the same as how it is right now, with the exception, of course, of just taking away like different things like the 50th anniversary stuff and, like the little banners that they have up that say 50 and the actual 50 plaque. But I feel like everything else, I think the colors are going to stay the same. I think everything else will kind of remain the same way. I remember seeing Disneyland Castle as the classic white and blue, which is what Cinderella Castle was up until the 50th anniversary. So I feel like that is going to be kind of what we're going to get to with Disneyland as well. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, go back and watch some of the old 50th or old Disneyland specials from like Walt's Day. You'll notice that like the castle's like white and blue, just like the Cinderella Castle was. Keep throwing your questions in there. We got about 15 minutes left to answer questions. Right now, we don't have any questions sitting around in the chat room. So throw your questions in there, and we'll get some answers down. I'm going to take a sip of water while you guys sit there and... I'm going to Disney 100. I really want to go to Disney 100. I want to go to Disneyland for the 100th anniversary. I also really want to go up to the special exhibit, the 100th anniversary exhibit that they have up in Pennsylvania. I'm drawing a blank on where it is right now. I think it says Pennsylvania. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Pennsylvania. I want to go up there and check that out as well. Never been to Disneyland. What? Did you get any of the new Disney 100 Lego Brickheads? Not yet. I just 2 Lego characters. But they do have a special series out now for the 100th anniversary. So I will be getting that sometime in the very near future. My nose is also getting clogged up. I swear if I get sick before this race, I'm going to be so mad at my super... Oh. One of the guys I work with, Came in yesterday, coughing and sneezing up a storm. And I was like, if you get me sick before the half marathon, and he was like, I'm not sick. And then at the end of the show, she's like, maybe I am sick. And I unfortunately, I had to share with an office with him all day long. How do you feel about Splash Mountain closing? I am sad about Splash Mountain closing. I'm trying to get this because I just noticed it was on the ground beforehand. I've always been a big fan of Splash Mountain. I think Splash Mountain is a great attraction. I think the storyline is great. I think the storytelling is great. I think overall it is a great attraction. I was very upset when I was like, I know if we had another Splash Mountain thing within reach. I was very I was very upset when they announced it. However, at the same time, I do love Princess of the Frog. I think Princess of the Frog is one of the best Disney animated films out there. I think the music's amazing. I think it has some of the best music of any Disney film. Possibly it might have the best Disney soundtrack out there. So when they announced it was going to be Princess of the Frog, I was like, okay, I do like Princess of the Frog enough that I'm going to be able to give this a chance. So I am sad because I have ridden Splash Mountain hundreds of times, like legit hundreds of times in my life. But at the same time, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's in Philly. That's how I heard you saying it. It's in Philly. I want to go up to Philadelphia specifically to see the exhibit at some point. I've never been to Philly. I've never been to Pennsylvania. I've been to, I think, 31 states, I think it is. I don't know. We were figuring out the other day. My dad's missing one state. He's missing New Mexico. So part of me wants to go to New Mexico just to, or maybe it was Arizona. No, this is New Mexico. I want to go to New Mexico first, just so I can say I went to New Mexico before he did. And my brother is missing 4 states, but by the end of the year, he'll be at just New Mexico that he's missing too. Yeah, but no, anyways, I'm sad about it. I'm sad, but and it's still open to Disneyland, so maybe I'll have to head off to Disneyland to ride it one more time. Hoping to see the exhibit soon, as it's only about 2 hours away from me. Extremely jealous of that. Best soundtrack ever. What do I think is the best soundtrack ever? Honestly, I think the best instrumental Disney soundtrack, without a doubt, the best instrumental soundtrack is The Rocketeer. I think The Rocketeer has the best instrumental music. Fun fact, a lot of times when I am writing my books, the music that I have playing in the background is the Rocketeer soundtrack because it's just a very relaxing, but at the same time very inspiring soundtrack, and it gives me, motivation. So I do love the Rocketeer for just instrumentals. When it comes to ones with songs and words and lyrics, I'm going to narrow it down to 3. I think Princess of the Frog, Tangled, and Mary Poppins might be my top 3. Maybe The Lion King. Maybe Aladdin. Maybe Peter Pan. No. I think Tangled has an amazing soundtrack. I think that's one of the ones I've sang the most. I used to jam out to that in my CD player all the time while driving around, and I still do. I think, I don't know, there's something about the Princess of the Frog one, though. I think that soundtrack is just such a well-done soundtrack that it might be my favorite soundtrack. I think every song on there I'm a fan of. Like, there's not a single song where I'm like, oh, like that, okay. Like, I can skip over that one when I'm re-listening to the soundtrack. While most of the other ones kind of, Come to Hershey Park. Okay. Hershey, Pennsylvania, with the land of the giant chocolate character. I've seen pictures. Okay, have a good night, Matt. Vote for best soundtrack. Throw in there. What is the best soundtrack? Moana's up there too. Oh, someone just wrote that. Moana, Tangled, and Mary Poppins. Brother Bear. I will have to disagree. I think Brother Bear does have one good song. I like Tell Everybody I'm on my way. New plans, new places and faces to see. Yes, I'm on my way. I do like the what's the song that they sing when they're actually all like fishing at the end? Oh, we're getting some. Maybe Beauty and the Beast soundtrack. Beauty and the Beast soundtrack is a great one. Little Mermaid and Encanto. Encanto does have a great soundtrack. Little Mermaid, I like the majority of them. Is there one? The only song I'm not a huge fan of is "We Are the Daughters of Triton." Beauty and the Beast. I think their Beauty and the Beast is a very stellar one. Tarzan, great soundtrack, absolutely great soundtrack. Or Encanto, yeah, I think Encanto just has a great soundtrack altogether. The only thing that every time I watch Encanto, I think about is the fact that the song where she's like singing about how, like she's kind of feels like an outsider. I feel like they thought that was going to be like the Let It Go of the soundtrack. I think they thought that was going to be like the big I Want song that, like, look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? I want adventure in the great wide somewhere, and I just can't wait to be king. All those songs, like, just, the character, and it's like this great song that all the lyrics to. And I feel like that one song in Encanto, they wanted that to be like the big, like, oh, this is the song. And then they ended up with, we don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. So because of that one song, I put it down one level. And I'm trying to think, like, yeah, because like Princess of the Frog, I feel like every song is just such a great song. Like, the evening star is shining bright, so make a wish and hold on tight. There's magic in the air tonight, and anything can happen. Lion King. Yes. Is there any songs in Lion King that we don't like? I can't think of a single one. I can see what's happening. What? And they don't have the Circle of Life's an amazing song. Yeah, and Hans Zimmer, amazing, amazing, amazing stuff that he did on that soundtrack too. Yeah, I think Lion King's up there too. I like Brother Bear, guys, just because I killed it off in a vote. And the funny thing is, I even killed it off in the vote, half the people were killing it off. I just agreed with those half the people that wanted the other thing. I don't even remember what it beat. I just remember I got a lot of hate for it. Probably from the people who didn't even want it to go in. The actor at Frozen Live last weekend was talking about Phil Collins and Tarzan, and it was hilarious. Wait a minute. No, I was going to say, I kind of feel like I was there, but I wasn't. I saw the Frozen sing-along twice this week. Yes, I love Under Pressure. Under Pressure is a great song. I'm the strong one. I'm not perfect. That's a great song. Lilo and Stitch soundtrack. There's a lot of songs in there that I really like. There's also some that I'm not a massive fan of, but yeah, I think Lilo and Stitch soundtrack, I will put it up there. That's in the top half. Maybe this should be our next thing. We already did a best song thing before, but maybe best soundtrack, best Disney soundtrack should be our next bracket series. If you guys want that, I think that's actually a very good topic. But we would have to go through and be like, these are all of the different soundtracks that we want. Like, these are all the songs that come in this movie. So sometimes you're going to have songs that aren't going to be as good as the other songs, and because I feel like one of the tough things with the bracket series, especially when it comes to soundtracks, if you're looking at soundtracks, there's some amazing songs in films, and there's also some songs where it's like, it's not the best song. Like, if you look at the Frozen soundtrack, I love the Frozen soundtrack. Don't get me wrong. Because you got things like Love is an Open Door. Do you want to build a snowman? For the first time in forever. Let It Go. But then you also have the Troll song. And that brings it down a little bit in my book, where it's like, okay, you got a lot of great songs in there, but then you throw in the he's a bit of a fixer upper, you know. One of my favorite songs is Merida's song on Brave, even though she doesn't sing it. It's a great song. I 100% agree. I think that is an amazing song. I will run, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. Da 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 da. This is like Eric's nightmare. It's just me singing tonight about different random songs. Okay, keep throwing some questions out there. Let's check the let's check where we are on our subscribers. We started off at 2,631. I looked right before the show, and then I never showed it at the start. We are still at 2,631. It does look like 81 because of that tape that's on the screen, but it's actually 31. So not quite there. Any other questions out there while we are sitting around and trying to figure this stuff out? What's your thoughts on Moon Girl? Have you watched any episodes? I have not watched any episodes yet. I have been so swamped with my family in town. Oh, look, there's literally 2 questions right in a row. Both of them are about Moon Girl. Because my niece and nephew were in town, literally, I did nothing. Hey, Thomas, Dino is king. When we were with my niece and nephew in town, if you guys notice, and I had some people who noticed because I had people like literally like writing obituaries about me dying. I did not do any social media. I didn't do any, like I literally last Wednesday I came on. We did the Wednesday show. As soon as the show finished, I went to sleep, and then like 7 hours later, 6 hours later, something like that, I was waking up to then get lightning lanes, and then we went to the park. And then when we came back from the park, did it all over again. And then, yeah, I spent the whole time with my niece and nephew. I really did not use my phone at all, with the exception of making lightning lane selections so we could all get on lightning lanes. But yeah, we really did not do. I did not have really any time to watch it. I plan on watching Moon Girl. I will probably watch an episode maybe tonight. But at the same time, I do have to wake up early in 2 days for a 5K and then a 10K and then a half marathon. So yeah, I'm really far behind on my Disney Plus right now. I'm three episodes behind on Star Wars Bad Batch, which is killing me because I really want to keep on watching through. But yeah, we'll see. I have Encanto at the Hollywood Bowl as my background noise most of the days. It's an amazing show. Love that show. Absolutely love that show. I thought it was a great show. Judy, buy your son a new screen for his birthday. If she wants to. Not going to argue. But yeah, no, I'm really far behind. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur looks really interesting. I really do want to watch it. I just need to find some time to actually do it. The other problem is one of my favorite TV shows, actually my favorite TV show of all time. We've talked about it a little bit before here. Not in Disney, is The Amazing Race. And recently they released every season, every episode on Paramount Plus. And there's a lot of times where I sit down, I'm like, oh, like I should continue watching The Amazing Race, even though I've seen every single season like twice. I'm now on my 3rd time. And there's times where I'm like, oh, I'll watch like 2 or 3 things on Disney Plus tonight. And I'm like, oh, haha, Amazing Race. So your Marvel obsessed daughter said it's cringy. But your Marvel obsessed daughter also has disagreed with you on multiple things in brackets throughout the year. So maybe it's not as cringy as she thinks it is. We'll see. I do want to watch it. Maybe tonight I will watch an episode. What my dad and I did watch the other day was what is it? Mila in the Multiverse, which is a show from Disney Plus Brazil that they just brought up here, and we were watching it over at my parents' place, which is where my brother and sister-in-law, my niece and nephew were staying. And we were watching it, and my brother's like, "What is this?" And we're like, "Oh, it's on Disney Plus. It's brand new." And he's like, "Oh, so anything that pops up on Disney Plus, you're just gonna watch it?" And we're like, "Yes." That is exactly how we do this. So yeah. We need a Bluey bracket, like the episodes, because I kind of love that idea. I really love that idea. My brother, so because of the amount of things we have had with my brother, we have only so many seats in my parents' car, and then so my parents would bring everyone except for me and my brother to the parks, and then my brother and I would drive separately. And when you are driving as a 38-year-old and a 42-year-old to and from Disney World, naturally the number one thing you talk about is Bluey. And him and I talked about Bluey a lot on the drives back and forth. So yeah, actually I asked my niece, who's 8, I asked her what her favorite Bluey episode is, and she listed off like 20 of them, but she said that the one that she really likes, because she thinks it's the sweetest television episode that's ever been shown, her words, not mine, is season 3, episode 1, when they could get separate rooms. She said, it's the sweetest thing. It's the sweetest thing. You have to see it. I said, I have seen it. It is one of the sweetest things. Blue is the reason I am up late, too late every night. Disney Channel has it on until 2 a.m. every night. Well, you could just, watch it on Disney Plus. That's what I do. I watch it on Disney Plus actually, I've not been watching it as much as I used to. That was my let me get ready for work and put Bluey on. So, because it's like a 7 or 8 minute episode, so it's really easy to do. All right, let's see. Did we get any new subscribers? We did not. No. Also, I was talking to someone at work about this the other day. They were asking me about my web or my YouTube channel. And they're like, what's the best one or the best way to go through and get lots of likes for you or lots of views for you or what? I don't. They don't talk like that either. I'm just talking in a weird voice. And I pointed out, if you go to my place, I'm just throwing this out there. If you guys want to do this, I don't know, tonight, you can, because we are getting closer. Actually, let me look at this first real quick too. No, oh no. So if we go to total views, we are nearing 1,250,000 views, which is insane. So that's a big number. There you go. So this is the lifetime. Since I first started September 20th, 2009, we've had 1,224,563 views on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I was talking to some people at work because they're like, oh, you've got a YouTube channel. Ha ha, ha ha. And I was like, yes, ha ha, ha ha. And they said, what's the best way to get you lots of views? And I told them, if you go onto my YouTube playlist, so this, if you look at the top there, we got Brent Dodge playlist. Ignore the broken phone. And you go to this one right here, Disney Shorts, updated today. There's 252 videos on that one right now. It updates every single day, or maybe it doesn't update every day, but I post a brand new Disney short every single day on there. And if you go and hit play all, here, ready? If you go on here, you click it, and then you literally just hit, where's my finger at? There's my finger. If you hit play all, what it does is it literally goes through and plays all 252 of those videos. It takes less than an hour, or maybe it's like an hour and like 5 minutes to go through. You can have it in the background, listen to some Disney fun facts, let's see some attractions and all that other fun stuff. And it helps me out greatly. So even if 4 people do it every day, that's an extra 1,000 views, which is kind of crazy. The Mother's Day episode is my favorite right now, where Bingo plays her mom and Bluey plays her dad in their performance. Yes, that's a good one too. I forgot about that one. I told you they're going to revoke your Disney Plus membership. I promise, Eric, I'm going to watch at least one new thing tonight. At least one, if not 17. Hey, before you sign off, when you check in for a Disney cruise, do you take a photo of your driver's license, passport, the additional photo? So so when you go on a Disney cruise, you need to take a picture of your passport, upload it to the website, and then you also need to get a picture of your face, but it can't be in selfie mode. You've got to have it so it's the other way around. So you either have someone else take a picture of you, or if you're like me and you live alone, you have to just kind of, hopefully line it up right, and take a picture. Bling. And then you submit that too. You can't have any hats on. You can't have any sunglasses on. It's got to be a solid background. So like if you're doing the Wednesday show, having it so here is not the greatest spot to do it because there's a lot of stuff behind me. So what I usually do is I go in front of my closet because it's just a plain white background and I get the picture that way. But essentially what they're doing with that picture is they are using that picture to check that it's you every time you are boarding the ship and every time that you're leaving the ship. So that is actually your mode of identification. Because if you've ever done the Disney cruise or have never done a Disney cruise, like I know I've got it near me here. You get your Keats the World card, and you wear this around everywhere. Or if you've never done a cruise before, then you don't get a lanyard. So you either bring your own lanyard or just keep your card in the pocket. But what you do is when you're leaving, you scan this, bling, and it scans it. It sends it to the person's computer that's in front of you, and their face pops up. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is you, friend. You're free to keep on going." But that is your ticket on board the ship. So if you want to get on the ship the very first time, you need that. So yeah, you definitely need that picture on all your things. So yeah, I highly recommend using a phone and just uploading it right there on the app. That is the easiest way to do it. But if you need to use a computer, you can do it on the computer as well. But yeah, it just has to make sure that it is a solid black or solid blank background behind you. No hats, no glasses, unless you wear glasses, but like not sunglasses or anything. So yeah, it makes it easy for them to identify you as you come and go off the ship. Oh, I want to go on a ship. What was it? Like, was it a month ago now? Eric, when did we get off the ship? It was the 20th. Oh, it's been over a month. Oh, that's sad. That's really sad. I want to go back on the ship right now. I miss the ships. Okay, we are going to wrap up this broadcast right here as I go look at the Disney Cruise Line website to figure out the next deal I can find. But tonight's episode, as always, was sponsored by It's All About the Mouse Travel Jazz Hands. Make sure you stop by It's All About the Mousetravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All of their services are absolutely, positively, 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. I'd like to thank everyone out there for joining us once again this week. Please keep on spreading the word about the Wednesday show and From Screen to Theme, and invite anyone and everyone to join the group right here on Facebook. Or if you're over on YouTube, make sure you go get your friends to subscribe on YouTube. We are trying to hit that 3,000 subscriber goal by, you know what? Let's throw it out there, by my birthday. So we've got exactly 30 days. 30 days to hopefully hit 3,000 subscribers. So if you know anyone and everyone, we are less than 400 subscribers away right now. So send your friends over, and hopefully we can hit 3,000 subscribers by my birthday. It's a good goal. Hopefully it's a good goal. So keep sending them over. Make sure you watch out. Tomorrow we're going to have a brand new YouTube video as usual. We are back to our daily videos. And then the day after that, our video might not be at the usual time. It might be a little earlier. It might be a little later. But on Friday, we'll be releasing a YouTube video about the Princess Half Marathon 5K, and then the 10K on Saturday, and then the half marathon on Sunday as well. So make sure you watch out for all three of those videos. Give them a like, give them a comment, share it with a friend, give it a view or 17, because every single view truly does help me. And typically, I am the first person to have those videos up after the races. So please, please, please help spread those words so we can continue to grow all of our stuff around here. Until next time, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Until next time, guys, have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Bye-bye now. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks are just killing me. I just can't stand